Look, if they don't change this rule, no one is going to put their money here.
Do you know how long that guy's been in first place in American history? Secured bondholders come first? Since the beginning of the country, since we started to have a stock exchange and commercial transactions. And with no action of the Congress, no action of the state of legislature of Delaware, where GM and Chrysler are incorporated, a single federal judge bullied by the White House has changed 230 years of law and economic procedure.
Charles said that we knew we were getting ourselves into this, that President Obama said this is what he was going to do, but I don't think he said that there was going to be an assault on private enterprise. I submit to you that this is one of the most unpatriotic things.
Gretchen,
to shut down profitable businesses.
He is a guy who his whole life is riddled with Marxists. He is a progressive. And this is what progressives do. This is what they did in World War II that kept us in the Depression for 10 years. And nobody wants to listen to it. Everybody wants to live in their pie-in-the-sky world where, gosh, we can't be that. He's telling us this. And there's much more worse to come. In 15 minutes, we're going to do a break with these guys who are experts on the progressive movement.
The bottom line,
if you want to know what the future is, look to the past. I'll show it to you. It's frightening.
Glenn, I think the president, really, his goal is, in his mind, he wants to redress what he considers wrongs of yesteryear.
I've been saying for a while now, I mean, I'm just like you. For a long time, I went, how did we possibly get here? And I didn't want to believe that we were headed down the path that looks like we are. Well, thanks to one of the guys who happened to be sitting on the set here, my eyes were really opened when a professor friend of mine gave me a copy of his book. My next issue of my magazine, Fusion, is all about the cancer that is in this country. This is the problem in our country. It is called progressivism. My next two guests are experts on the topic and wrote articles for this special issue. It is an expanded issue of Fusion. R.J. Pastrito, author of American Progressivism, and Matt Spalding. He is the director of the B. Kenneth Simon Center for American Studies at the Heritage Foundation. You guys have been watching the show. We started with this thing with Chrysler and GM, the way they're closing people down. We are on the road to fascism with these czars. Is this
the czar thing is absolutely amazing. This is what they did in the 30s in Italy. But the thing with all these things are going on right now: cars taking over banks, health care, national service, you name it. What makes this all fit together? What's the pattern here? We see the pattern. It's progressivism. It was laid out in book form, in writings, in speeches in the 1910s, the 1920s. Barack Obama is a disciple of that understanding of things. He's audacious enough to think he can actually bring it off. He's doing it in a very radical way. You know, I read, RJ, I think it was in your book, may have been in your book. I was reading about Woodrow Wilson, and he was fascinated by Philip Drew, Administrator, this novel, and it's a horrible novel and everything else. He read it a couple of times during his administration. He set up administrators. They're czars. He becomes a dictator, a benevolent dictator. He puts these people that don't answer to Congress or anything because Congress is too corrupt. The people go along with it, and I'm reading it now, and it is the blueprint for where we're headed now.
Yeah, and Matt's correct. And in fact, it's actually been going on for even longer. I'd point, all the way back to the 1880s when folks like Woodrow Wilson were writing before they entered public life.
Right.
The progressives knew that their vision of government could not proceed on the basis of the original model of the separation of powers, as you were pointing out in the first segment of your show tonight. And so what they argued was that Congress, instead of passing specific laws, which they're supposed to do as your elected representatives, Congress should instead pass very vaguely worded laws, just like the TARP law is, and should set up a kind of network of bureaucratic agencies. And they thought that these agencies would have the expertise very much along the lines of the czar system that we have under the Obama administration. I thought they'd have the expertise to handle this vast increase in regulation of our economy and society.
Got to go. Back in just a second. America, you want to understand the news and the future of America, you have to understand early 20th century progressivism. R.J. Pastrito, author of American Progressivism, and Matt Spalding, he is the director of the B. Kenneth Simon Center for American Studies at the Heritage Foundation, continues our conversation. We'll have to have you guys back because we're running so late. But Obama said something in his inauguration speech that I thought was so telling, and that was, we're going to remake.
That's right.
Not rebuild, remake
America. And we've just begun, might add.
Right.
What he means by that, we have to understand, is very large. The original understanding of America, permanent fundamental rights from which you get limited government. Those two things are rejected by the progressives. All things change. There's no permanent truth. You get the modern administrative state, and it goes crazy and takes off. He wants to completely remake all of politics and society. It's not just politics, not just the courts. It's everything, from a decentralized America to a heavily centralized national government.